Learn English through story. The Sculptor and the Stone. In a small village nestled at the foot of an ancient mountain, lived a master sculptor named Adrian, renowned for his lifelike statues. His hands could seemingly breathe life into stone. Villagers would come from far and wide, asking for his craft to commemorate loved ones, represent their beliefs, or honor the heroes of old. However, Adrian was no longer the man he once was. Years of meticulous work had made his eyes sharp but his heart hard. He was perfectionistic and unforgiving, both to himself and others. Though his art flourished, his relationships faltered, and he found himself increasingly isolated. One day, an old man came to Adrian's workshop. His face was weathered with age, but his eyes gleamed with a peculiar brightness. He carried a modest-sized block of marble, worn around the edges but still possessing potential. "I've heard you are the finest sculptor in the region," the old man began, setting the stone down in front of Adrian. "I want you to carve something from this stone, something that reflects the truth of life." Adrian scoffed. "The truth of life? That's vague. Do you have something more specific in mind? A figure, an object, an idea?" The old man smiled softly. "Number, just life's truth." Adrian stared at the stone and then at the old man, slightly annoyed by the ambiguity of the request. "Very well," he said, reluctantly taking the challenge. Days turned into weeks, and Adrian worked on the stone tirelessly. He labored to find the truth hidden inside, chiseling and shaping as he always did. Yet, no matter what form he attempted, nothing seemed to satisfy him. He carved faces, bodies, and abstract shapes, but each time he finished, he found the creation hollow, lacking in depth or significance. Frustration built within him. One night, in the dim candlelight of his workshop, Adrian stared at the stone, now chiseled down to half its original size. "What is the truth of life?" he muttered to himself, exhaustion hanging on every word. He had always believed that truth could be found in perfection, in flawless symmetry, in detailed representation of the world. But this stone defied him. At that moment, the old man appeared in the doorway again, quietly observing Adrian's worn face and tired hands. "You seem troubled, my friend," he said gently. Adrian sighed, wiping his brow. "I've been sculpting for years, but this task is beyond me. How am I supposed to carve something so abstract as the truth of life? I can't find the form it should take." The old man stepped closer and examined the half-carved stone. "You've been trying to find the answer in the stone itself, but perhaps you're looking in the wrong place." Adrian frowned. "What do you mean?" "A sculptor finds the image within the stone. I've done it countless times." "Yes," the old man replied, "but truth is not always found in what we expect. Life's truth isn't perfection. It's not symmetry or grandeur. It is the spaces in between. It is in the cracks, the imperfections, the moments we overlook." Adrian stood there, confused and irritated. "Imperfections? What good are they? My work is admired for its flawless form." The old man smiled again, the same serene look in his eyes. "Let me tell you a story," he said, sitting on a nearby stool. "When I was a young man, I used to travel the world. I sought wisdom in temples, cities, and the wilds. I thought that to understand life, I needed to find great teachers, grand philosophies, and profound truths. But one day, I met a simple fisherman. His boat was old, patched together with different types of wood, barely holding together. I asked him why he didn't get a new boat. He smiled and said, "Every time it breaks, I fix it, and with every crack, I know it better. The boat has become more than a vessel, it is a reflection of my life, patched, imperfect, but strong because of it. The old man paused, letting his words sink in. Life is like that boat, he continued. It's the broken parts, the things that don't go as planned, the moments that are fragile and imperfect. That is the truth of life. Adrian sat in silence, contemplating the old man's words. For so long, he had equated mastery with flawlessness, believing that perfection was the ultimate expression of truth. Yet, as he thought about his own life via the relationships he had neglected, the failures he had refused to acknowledge, he began to realize how much he had missed. The old man stood up to leave. You'll know what to do with the stone, he said before disappearing into the night. The next morning, Adrian woke with newfound clarity. He went to the stone, no longer seeing it as a problem to solve but as a reflection of his own journey. Instead of striving for perfection, he embraced the stone's natural flaws. He let the uneven surfaces and jagged edges remain, chiseling around them, accentuating them rather than smoothing them out. His hands moved with purpose, not to control, but to guide the stone into becoming what it already was, a reflection of imperfection and resilience. When he finished, the statue was unlike anything Adrian had ever created. It was raw, imperfect, and yet, it spoke a truth that his previous works had lacked. It wasn't beautiful in the traditional sense, but it was real. A few days later, the old man returned. He gazed at the statue, a knowing smile crossing his lips. Now you've captured it, he said softly. The truth of life. Adrian nodded, feeling a peace he hadn't known in years. He realized that in striving for perfection, he had missed the essence of life. It wasn't in the flawless image, but in the cracks, the spaces in between, are the moments that shape us, break us, and ultimately make us whole. And for the first time, Adrian felt that his work was truly complete. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoyed, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.